Welcome back to the Daily News Network. I'm Brian Sexton, and that means it's time for Finding Your Frequency, the show where we talk to interesting people and find out where they are, where they're going, and what it takes to get there. And today, from Clear Acceleration, we have Christine Campbell Rapin. And Christine has an interesting business. But Christine, the thing that's most interesting is that it's about people taking complex situations and making it simple.
100%. I think that there is such an amazing thing happening right now with people stepping into the world of entrepreneurship more than they ever have before. And it's really easy to get sold complexity. And complexity is not your friend. I'm here to help you actually keep it simple, elegantly simple, in fact, and build the foundations to not only build your business dream, change your community, change your income, and change your family, all in the pursuit of that great American dream.
Is the complexity sometimes the biggest hurdle to get past? In other words, you build it up in your mind. And because you coach entrepreneurs, I'm sure you see this all the time. People put roadblocks that don't really exist because they don't know that they don't really exist. They've built it up in their mind.
100%. We have this belief that we have to solve all the problems from day one, and half the problems we don't even have yet or may never in fact have. And that's where the world is really complex, because people think in order to be in business today, I must learn AI first. I must learn YouTube first. I must become this. I must become that. And that is dangerous. And I will tell you, also not required. I think what people need to be reminded of is that people still do business with people. And one conversation with one person can change the trajectory of your life. Why don't we start with a simple thing, which is solve the current problem? And why don't you start by getting into more conversations, because clients need services, and chances are you've got something to offer that they will pay for.
So let's talk about that, but let's begin at the beginning. How did you get to here where Clear Acceleration is now? What was the genesis for you? What did it take to get where you are today?
I run a global consulting business today, but truthfully, I never imagined I would, and I never imagined I could. I worked a traditional corporate life, helping other businesses create lots of revenue. And it became a skill set that I acquired over the course of 25 years. But when I watched my peers, fellow entrepreneurs, struggle and work 60, 80, even 100 hours a week and not see client growth, I was like, wait, back up, Buttercup. What's happening here? Because I can tell you that you can build consistent client growth in an hour and a day. And people were like, I actually watch you do that. What's the secret? And I said, the secret is get out of the complexity. And there are 3 problems to solve: leads, marketing, that's one thing; sales and conversations, number 2. And then how do you do that repeatedly, which would be systems, is number 3. And they're like, you mean I can do this an hour a day and be more effective? And I said, yes. And they said, I'll pay you. And I was like, that's weird. I don't understand that. And I kept saying that so often that people around me started to tell me, pay attention. You could actually create a business helping other people with a skill set that you have that I learned over 25 years. And I thought, that's wild. And truthfully, that's actually what I ended up doing, because I really wanted people not to get lost, not to go broke, and not to go bankrupt on their business journey. And nobody was really telling people how to build at the foundational level.
Right.
They were only playing at the sizzle level. And I said, if you want to sparkle, have at it. But I will tell you, foundations are what creates really great results.
So tell me, what's the right person to work with Clear Acceleration? Who's the right person? What's the right type of business? Or does it matter?
I would say generally it doesn't matter, but here's who also really comes to us because they're like, I see like. I work with a lot of creative entrepreneurs. So think marketing agencies, video production, podcast, AI type businesses. They're selling an intangible thing, and they need somebody who's had a real background in that, who gets it, who says, I don't want you just to do the work. I want you to have the business behind the work. Right. We also work with a lot of professional services because they're in the same boat. They're using their own lens, their own skills, their own IP to create revenue. And it's different than a traditional bricks and mortar business. If you want to sell B2B, I've spent a whole year creating billions of dollars for other people. Maybe we can help you learn that faster than seriously going to YouTube or ChatGPT to say, hi, can you tell me how to do this? It's not the best option.
Since you mentioned faster, you talk about taking complex ideas and making them simple. Can you make them expedient? Can you make it quicker? Or is there a learning curve behind your method that is required before you get there? In other words, when you start working with someone to make it simple, how long until success shows up?
We take people through two simple pathways. One of them can be as fast as 30 days. If you already have a concept that works and product that moves, your issue is that you're just not focused on business development. You can give me 30 to 60 minutes a day. We can build you a business which has more clients in less than 30 days. If you're someone who's like, I don't know what to say, who to say it to, how to say it, when to say it, then we take people through a 12-week journey. You're going to understand those fundamentals. You're going to get really clear on the buyer, how to ask them to go from curious to here's my credit card. And we're going to help you really own your own authority and then get you into the activity. So instead of spending years, we're going to condense that into weeks.
Okay.
And that's a big change.
Is there a common obstacle? Is it, when you get entrepreneurs, regardless of business, do you find yourself getting to the starting line and, oh, there's that hurdle in front of me?
The biggest hurdle is getting off zero. And so I have this mantra, nothing great comes from zero. If you have zero people to talk to, you make zero offers, you will have zero revenue. Yeah. So everyone talks about the 1% and the magic of compounding, and it's cool. It really is the eighth wonder of the world. But the biggest thing that you need to decide is a commitment to getting off zero. Because as a business owner, you can choose your speed, you can choose your goal line, and you can choose what you want to create. But the biggest thing is to simply start and to start messy. And when you're new at something, we often say, embrace it. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is a skill set. It will always pay you in dividends if you can embrace it, because the decisions you make you smarter, more capable, and you build your muscles. And those will prepare you for the volume, the support, and the clients that are coming to support your business and pay you for it.
Christine, I don't think we can do this show in 2026 without asking how AI has changed your business. Where have you seen clues that AI is leading you into the future and you leading your customers and clients along that way?
I think AI can be a great observer, not a great decision maker. And note there's a very big difference there. So how we use AI is if we run a live event where real people are in the room, that's so unscripted. We can take that experience and ask AI to be an observer. What did you see? What are the key insights? What were the key light bulbs? Because we get lost in the forest for the trees. I don't think where AI plays is particularly helpful for a new entrepreneur is to say, tell me how to do this, because it's going to aggregate everybody's opinion to give you the average or the median. And guys, you can't be average or median in today's marketplace. You have to be unique. So I think it can play a great observer role. It can bring in some blind spot checking for you, but don't let it write your ticket, because truthfully, if it could write for it for you, it will write it for somebody else. And then you're competing with all the same things, and standing out in the sea of sameness is hard enough without being given the same garbage that everyone else is.
I see behind you a number of books, and I love it, right? People need to read more. That is a key to success in the future. Is there one of those that you would recommend to someone who's watching this today they should pick up and read?
I think for sure the book that I would start with is actually the green book. It's called Jumpstart Your Blank. And in that, I actually help people figure out how to jumpstart their business. So if you're a person who's thinking, how do I commercialize my idea? That's a great place to start. In it, you'll also find some great tips to jumpstart your life, because it's not just about the business. My measure for success for clients is I want you to build a life that feels like oxygen, fueled by your business, but not independent of your business. It's all the same thing. You do in life, my friends, on your own terms.
When someone becomes a client of Clear Acceleration, do you share the energy you've got? Because it jumps through the camera, Christine. Yes. I imagine there are people that leave the meeting they have with you on a daily basis feeling energized to go out and attack the day.
They absolutely do. And I jokingly say to people, when you're the client, you're the spark of your own dream. But I'm a fuel source, and my network's a fuel source. So if you need to plug in and be reminded of what's possible, yeah, that's a key thing. And I love to sit front row watching people dream.
All right, we're going to put all of this in the show notes, but tell people what's the best way to make contact with you if they see an opportunity with Clear Acceleration to get over that hurdle and get their business going.
Yeah, I would love to welcome you to come and connect to me. My name is Christine Campbell Rapin. Rapin's R-A-P-I-N. Come find me at ChristineCampbellRapin.com, and from there you can choose your own adventure, connect to me on social, learn about our programs, or simply set up a conversation and we'll have one.
And I enjoyed this conversation immensely, Christine. Best of luck to you and all of your clients as we go forward into 2026. Have a great day.
You too.
And we'll be back with another edition of Finding Your Frequency. Thanks for joining us here on the Daily News Network.